Transcript. Hey, stay with me. Single dad found a female cop dying. What he and his dog did stunned the entire police force. The night was silent, the kind of quiet where every tiny sound feels louder than it should. Jake, a single father in his early 30s, had just wrapped up another long shift at the mechanic shop. He didn't have much, just his little daughter Ella, their loyal German shepherd Bruno, and a small rented house sitting on the edge of town. But what Jake lacked in money, he made up for in grit, compassion, and a deep sense of duty that never wavered. He was walking Bruno down an empty street when the dog suddenly froze, muscles tight, ears pointing straight ahead. Before Jake could say a word, Bruno pulled hard on the leash, dragging him toward a narrow, dark alley. Jake's instincts told him to be careful. He had Ella waiting for him at home, and he knew dark alleys never meant anything good. But Bruno wouldn't stop pulling. Then Jake heard it. Before we begin, don't forget to hit like, repost, or share, and subscribe. And I'm really curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Back to the story. A faint, cracked whisper, a single word. Help. His heart started pounding as he stepped deeper into the shadows. That's when he saw her. A woman slumped against the brick wall, her police uniform torn, her hand pressed tightly against a wound in her side. Her skin was pale, her breathing ragged. She was a cop, but right now she looked more like someone hanging between life and death. Jake froze for a second. He wasn't a medic, he wasn't a hero, just a dad trying to raise his little girl alone. Bruno let out a soft whine and nudged the woman's boot as if begging Jake to do something. Hey, stay with me, Jake said, kneeling beside her. Don't close your eyes. You hear me? The woman's lips trembled. Ambush, drug bust. They knew we were coming. She gasped, coughing, blood staining her lips. My partner's still out there. Jake's chest tightened. Whoever had done this could still be close. He should have called 911, waited for help, but something inside him, maybe the thought of Ella growing up in a world where good people walked away, kept him there. He tore off his work jacket and pressed it against her wound. His hands shook, but his grip was steady. You're not dying here, he whispered. Not tonight. Suddenly, Bruno barked loud and sharp, spinning toward the far end of the alley. Jake looked up and caught movement, two shadows creeping closer. One of them held something metallic that flashed under the streetlight. His stomach dropped. They were coming back. Without a second thought, Bruno lunged forward, teeth bared, growling like a wild protector. The men cursed and stumbled backward, startled. Jake grabbed the officer's radio clipped to her vest, fumbling with it until a crackle came through. Officer down, corner of 9th and Willow, he shouted. She's losing blood. Send back up now. The faint sound of sirens echoed in the distance, and the men bolted. Bruno chased them off, snapping at their heels until they vanished into the dark. Jake's breathing was rough and uneven, but he stayed focused on the woman. Her eyelids fluttered. She was fading. Hey, he said softly, leaning close, trying to keep his voice steady. I've got a little girl at home. She's 7. She needs me, and I bet someone out there needs you too. So, you fight. Okay, you fight. Something in his words reached her. Her trembling hand lifted and gripped his wrist, holding on like her life depended on it. Moments later, flashing lights filled the alley. Officers rushed in, weapons drawn, but froze at the sight before them. A grease-stained mechanic, his jacket soaked in blood. A loyal German shepherd standing guard, and one of their own still alive because a stranger refused to walk away. Paramedics took over, working fast, but not before a senior officer stopped and looked at Jake. If it weren't for you, the man said quietly, we'd be bagging a body right now. Jake just shook his head, drained. I only did what anyone would have done. But deep down, he knew that wasn't true. Too many people would have kept walking, convincing themselves it wasn't their problem. As they lifted the officer onto a stretcher, her hand slipped from his wrist, but not before she whispered something faint, something only he could hear. Tell your daughter her dad's a hero. Jake stood frozen, Bruno pressing close against his leg as the sirens wailed and the vehicles pulled away. He didn't feel like a hero. He was just a father, a man who couldn't turn his back on someone else's fight for life. And yet, what he and his dog did that night would echo through the entire police force and far beyond, leaving everyone amazed that one single father with nothing to give but courage had changed everything. This story touched millions of hearts. If it touched yours, let us know.